YouTube? Devil Dog Dumbbell, back again with another video. Today's topic is going to be which branch of military service to join. As always, got my handy dandy notes right here, so let's get started. So you're thinking about joining the military, but you're not exactly sure which branch of service is right for you. I'm going to go over a few different little topics here and there that may be able to narrow it down for you, or maybe clear the air just a little bit. So let's get started. First one is, what are your goals? Maybe you want travel, you want adventure, maybe you just want a steady paycheck. Whatever the case may be, you should have this as a list, either mentally or written down, of what your goals are. Each branch of service offers something different. If you hate the water, okay, maybe joining the Navy is not the right option. These are all things you need to keep in mind. What type of job are you looking for? So if you're an extremely techie person and that's what you love to do in the civilian world, joining the Army or the Marine Corps Infantry is probably not going to benefit you as much as if you were to, let's say, join the Air Force and get into, let's just say, cybersecurity or something along those lines. That's going to be much more up your alley than running and gunning with the Army and the Marine Corps. Now, that's not to say that the Army and the Marine Corps do not offer jobs that are similar to that. I'm just explaining what your goals are and help that translate into military service. Look at what each branch of service has to offer in terms of benefits. For instance, what are their education benefits? What kind of MOSs or jobs are available? Does this branch of service offer me a good job where I can have a trade once I get out? These are all things that you just need to keep in mind when choosing which branch of service that you're looking to join. If you're not looking to run and gun and be in the field all the time, the Marine Corps and the Army probably aren't really going to be up your alley. As far as education purposes are concerned, the reserves, for instance, the National Guard, Air National Guard, and Army National Guard, their state benefits vary. Because it's half state-run and half federally run, usually the education side falls on the state. So some states have much better education benefits in the National Guard than another state. For instance, I do know for a fact that the Ohio Air and Army National Guard offer 100% tuition assistance. If you go 10 minutes north into Michigan, the benefits are not nearly as good as that. So if you're looking to be a reservist, or a guardsman, be sure you look into your state's benefits because they are going to vary. And a lot of times, states offer very good benefits for reservists in terms of how much money you're going to get for school. Unfortunately, where I lived, it wasn't very much money for school whatsoever as a reservist, or as a guardsman. Now, your reserves, your actual just Army Reserves, Marine Corps Reserves, Air Force Reserves, those are still 100% federally funded. So you're just going to get the same, in this circumstance, the same education benefits across the board. It's all streamlined. Versus, like I said, the National Guard, both Army and Air National Guard, are going to have different benefits from state to state. So that's definitely something that you're going to want to look into. If this stuff doesn't interest you, if you don't really have any immediate goals, and you don't really care about getting a trade that you can transfer to the civilian world once you're out of the military, maybe you're just someone who really just wants to deploy and slay the enemy. All right, if that's the case, then the Air Force may not be the best job for you. The best branch of service for you. Maybe the Navy is not the best branch of service. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely jobs within the Air Force and the Navy and so on and so forth that you can, in fact, deploy overseas and run and gun. However, that's not necessarily the main purpose of those branches of service. So if you're looking to run and gun, look at branches like the Army and the Marine Corps. That is literally our job, is to defeat the enemy. It doesn't get much more simpler than that. We are the ground forces. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely look at those branches of service. So keep that in mind. Let's look at, we kind of discussed it a little bit earlier, but that's the college benefits. Now, active duty are going to have all very similar college benefits no matter what branch of service you join. However, the Air Force does have a unique program. It's called the College Community of the Air Force. So when you go to your tech schooling, which is what's going to come after your basic training as an airman, you're going to get a bunch of college credits placed into something called Community College of the Air Force. What does this mean? That means when you keep getting education while you're in the Air Force, they keep compiling as college credits, and you may be able to walk away after active duty with a degree through the Community College of the Air Force for free. I mean, that's a pretty sweet deal, honestly. Now, for instance, in the Marine Corps, certain courses that you take, like your MOS school or your job school, even boot camp, you're going to get some college credits, absolutely. But I have not yet seen another branch of service that has their own separate community college in which you work towards a degree. So how it works when you join, let's say the Marine Corps, you go to your job school, and you go to boot camp, you go to Marine combat training, you have a literal military transcript. What you do is you take that transcript and you send it into a traditional school. So let's just, whatever college you plan on going to. Now they're going to have an academic advisor who's going to look through this transcript and decide what transfers and what does not. So just because it says, let's just say, it says a total of 20 college credits on your military transcript, that does not necessarily mean that you're going to get 20 college credits through whatever school you're going through. It is up to your school 100%. So keep that in mind for sure. One of the last things I want to talk about is blocking out the haters, right? So you're going to have a lot of people telling you what you should do with your life, especially in regards to the military. It's a very hard topic for your friends and family. It's a hard pill for them to swallow. However, just because Johnny down the street says that the Army National Guard is stupid, or the Air Force is weak, or this or that, it doesn't matter what they think, okay? Because you know what it is that you want to do. You have your goals in mind of what you would like to accomplish both in the military service and outside the military service. You've done your research, so don't listen to them. Now, if your family members were in the military, definitely take what they say, a little bit more serious, and try to get some knowledge under your belt. But as far as just friends or people who have never served before trying to tell you or pull you in certain directions, saying, join the Marine Corps, they're the best, blah, 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 blah. Don't listen to that. Do not listen to the hype. Join whatever branch it is that you want to join. If you know that that's the branch of service that best suits you and what you're looking to do, then do it. Who cares? If you join the Marine Corps and you're miserable for 4 years, what good is it? When, let's just say, your goal is more aligned with the Air Force or the Navy, and you would have been a happy camper those 4 years. Maybe you would have even re-enlisted, and who knows where your career would have taken off from there. But instead, you listen to everybody. Let's say you joined the Marine Corps, and you hated it. You couldn't wait until you got out, and you were counting down the days. So what was the point of that? You had a miserable 4 years, or you could have a great time in another branch, or vice versa. Maybe you want to be a Marine, and somebody's trying to pressure you to join the Air Force because they're smarter, or they're this, or they're that, and that's not in your heart what you wanted to do. So you need to take that in consideration as well. What is it that you want to do? It's your life. It's not their life. It's all up to you. The last thing I'm going to talk about today is schools. And I'm not talking about college education. I'm talking about military schools. Not every branch is going to offer you a lot of opportunities for additional military schooling. However, in this particular instance, the Army is going to be a great benefit for you. The Army has a lot of funding, and they have a lot of schools available. Heck, even Marines that are trying to get better trained with certain things are going to go to Army schools. That's just how it is. The Army has airborne, air assault, Pathfinder, combat dive school. They have a lot of schools available. Some of these schools you're even able to get in your contract if you're lucky enough, like Ranger, again, airborne, air assault. Then there's more schools, follow-on schools that you can go to as your career progresses. There's a lot of opportunities with the Army with that. So these are all just different things that you need to keep in mind when you're trying to decide what branch of service to join. I hope this video was helpful, guys. If you liked it or you learned something new, be sure to drop a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. Be sure to subscribe. I'm posting videos typically Monday and Friday. If I can sneak one in on Saturday, I'll do that absolutely. Trying to get the knowledge out to you guys. Check out my Instagram, Devil Dog Dumbbell. Post a lot of health and fitness related topics, so if you need to get in shape for boot camp, definitely check that out. I think you'll enjoy it. But again, more good stuff coming soon, guys, and I'll see you later.